I'm back. It's been a while since I have been on my YouTube channel, been on my Instagram, been on my Facebook. The last video I actually posted was, or recorded and posted, was after Peru. Now, I shared a little bit about that in my last video. I was there for a 9-day retreat. It was intense. I was back in my hometown, I want to say around December 14th. And now it is February 17th, and I'm still integrating the experience. The experience changed me. I know we talk about life-changing experiences within our lives, and this was one of them. And I knew that something was going to shift. There's been a massive internal shift, and it's happening daily. And one of the things that I realized as I was thinking about today and just not posting or not sharing anything for my audience. And one of the things I realized is that one of the reasons that I've had a hard time showing up is because I'm shifting. I'm looking at some of my other videos that I did from probably about 6 months ago when my channel was called Unmute with Priya. And that doesn't even resonate with me anymore because I'm a different version of myself. I'm in this amazing program with Quasi. If you don't follow him already, he's probably one of the first people that I started to follow in 2019 at the start of my awakening. I didn't know what my awakening was, didn't even know it was an awakening. But it was when I started to question everything in my life. And I joined his year-long program, Reality Mastery. And it's come that on top of my retreat is just completely shifting me in such a way that I can't even express. It's just something that I have to experience. And one of the things that I realized is my channel used to be called Unmute with Priya. Now, in Peru, I got a download that to use the name Healing Vines. It's significant for me. So that's my channel's name now, Healing Vines. So like, subscribe, share, comment. I would love to know more about you and what brought you to my channel, what resonated with you. So as I was talking about this, I have a cousin, and she's the first video in my podcast on Mute with Priya. And I said, that doesn't resonate with me anymore. The whole Unmute with Priya, that was so 2024. I was in a group coaching program, and one of the coaches said, it was really trying to encourage us to be catchy and get attention, and Unmute with Priya seemed really catchy at the time, and it doesn't resonate with me anymore because I'm a different version of myself. Now, maybe a couple of months from now, I'm not going to want to call my channel Healing Vines. I'm going to call it something else. And so as I was talking with Saroja, my cousin, I said, one of the things we don't give ourselves the opportunity to do is we don't give ourselves choices. We go, and I've talked about this plenty, we go through life thinking that it has to be a certain way. We have to be a certain way because society has said so. Our places of worship have said so. Our families. And then in that process, there's no space to shift and grow. And so we stay stuck in this box. We stay, all right, well, I'm a speech therapist. I went to school for speech therapy. I spent a lot of money on school. So therefore, I have to keep going with this trajectory. And that's where you meet resistance. Sometimes, I'm not saying that everybody has to shift. Everybody's going through their own journey. I was just full of judgment because I was judging myself. And so if, especially with relationships, if you weren't on the same journey as me, I was just thinking, wow, you need to be doing this too. No, I have such an amazing circle of friends, and everybody is on their own trajectory. So some people are going to be comfortable going through life, having done the thing that they were supposed to do and going through those motions. It doesn't resonate with me. It's not, I don't, some people are talking about human design. I haven't dove deep into human design just because taking a little break from learning. But I just know by my nature that I am constantly shifting. I'm constantly, and since 2019, it's this like rapid rapid transformation that's happening right before my eyes, just constant shifts in my interactions, in my how I'm, one month I might enjoy doing something, and then the next month I'm just like, this doesn't resonate with me anymore. Relationships are shifting, everything is shifting. And as you follow different people on social media, on YouTube, we're talking about 5D shifts. I want to kind of bring it down to talking about just shifting in general. Because sometimes when you do talk about that different dimensional work, it can be presented in such a way that somebody's like, I don't get it. I don't understand it. And that's okay. You don't have to understand that. And that's where I was. But also know that it is okay to change. Give yourself permission to change. If you signed up for something and you put all your heart and soul into it, and then a few months later you decide it doesn't resonate with you, guess what? It's okay. This is part of life, just trying things out and seeing what works for you and seeing what doesn't. I have joined Quasi's Reality Mastery Program, and it's all about awareness and shifting into this next level version. I committed to myself several years ago that I wanted to be a different version of myself. I wanted, and ultimately, what it's led me to is that I'm just a happier version of myself. I have huge goals, especially with my coaching business. And I just feel that what's happened to me as I do his work, as well as all of these transformations that have happened as a result of going to Peru, and I allow those upgrades to shift. I really feel like I had a shift in DNA. When you go diving deep into spiritual work, quantum work, those things can really happen. I don't, just a couple of years ago, I was so deep in trauma of the past, the pain of the past, constantly reliving it, constantly bringing these, I could just be driving somewhere in my town and I would see a building and boom, that was a trigger for a specific situation that had happened. And it's so exciting to be in a place where I am aware of those things happening now and that I am controlling my reality. That's ultimately what it's about, is that we can control our reality. We can control what's happening in our lives. The books that I'm reading, I'm a true Gemini and I read multiple books at the same time, but the one that I am reading faithfully is Reality Transurfing by Vladimir Zeland. And he talks about this alternate space where every opportunity that we desire or don't desire exists, and we call it in. And so understanding, and yesterday as I was reading it, it was fascinating because you remember the old slide projectors I remember my dad had one, and this is in the 80s, and we used to look at our slides on a big white screen in our living room. And so you put those slides in and you saw on the white screen what was on that slide, and family picture, baby pictures. That is essentially what we do to ourselves. We put a slide in our head. And so what we see, what we project out into the world is a reflection of that slide. So when I was deep into pain and trauma and hurt and suffering, those slides, I was just putting one after the other in my head, and that was being reflected in my life, in my interactions with everyone, family, friends, partners, work, socially. And then as I've come to control that, or understand that I can control what slide goes in there, everything on the outside is shifting. The one biggest thing, though, that I realized today, and that's why I came on here, is that we do have a choice. We do have a choice. We have a choice of what we want in our life and what we don't want in our life. We have a choice of what we want to say yes to and what we don't want to say yes to and what we want to say no to. We have a choice of the people we want to surround ourselves with. I've heard and you might hear it often, that you're the average of the 5 people that you spend your time with. I question that, because to see myself, or I like to think of myself as accepting, especially as I'm doing this work. And if everybody is a reflection, we are all one in this universe. It was a concept that I haven't really understood, but I understood in Peru, that we're all one. What, when you see something that you don't like in somebody else, the only reason we know that we don't like it is because we have that experience within ourselves. It doesn't mean that if you see somebody and you're like, oh my God, I don't like them, they're so mean. It's that everything is a mirror. So that's what I often tell my clients when I'm coaching them, is like, use every opportunity, every person that you encounter as that's a full length mirror. That's a chance for you to see, okay, what is the situation showing me? So as I think about this, and this is the first time, this is kind of stream of consciousness that I'm really recording today, but as I think about that, we're the average of the 5 people that we spend our time with, I'm surrounded by all different kind of people, and everybody's on a different level. And I think that it's about who are we inside and what can we offer to those people? Because when I say when I hear that we're an average of the 5 people that we're surrounded by, it places judgment on the people who are not part of that 5. So let's say your 5 are multimillionaires, high-performing, influencers, and they've got successful coaching businesses, really doing well in their life. What does that say for the person who's maybe happy with their 9-to-5 job, making minimum wage? They're a good person, but they're not striving. I tend to question that, because I believe in my journey, and this is my journey, I believe in offering love to everyone, regardless. I see it in the world now with politics. We see it where it's causing a split. If you support one side versus the other side, there's a fight. There's you versus me. There's them versus us. And that creates a distortion in the energy field around love. So this is, the theme of my video today, really, to come on here, was to say we do have a choice. You have a choice of what you want to hold on to and what you want to let go of. You have a choice of the people you want to be with. So if you want to surround yourself with the people who are sitting in yoga and meditation, or if you want to be with a person that likes to go out drinking and party and dance, it's okay. You have a choice, and there's no judgment. The first person that you have to let go of in judgment when you do these things is yourself. That's what it comes down to. So if you're catching this video, one of the main takeaways that I want you to take away from this is that use every opportunity, every situation, every person that you encounter as a full length mirror. Look at it. Ask yourself, what is this here to show me? What is this here to show me? When you start being more aware, and as I learned this in Quasi's program, and as I've learned in the past 5 years, when you start to be the observer and start to be aware, that's when the shift happens. Start participating in your life in a different way. You have a choice of what slide you're putting into your own projector and what's being played out into the world. You have a choice for that. You have a choice of what you want to do, even if you've spent all this time in school and you decide that that's not the career trajectory that you want to go with. I have 2 dear cousins. I love them to pieces. Well, I have a lot of cousins that I love to pieces, and these 2 in particular, I've always just been very close. Both of them, one of them went to law school and went through the whole process, did the bar, and at the end of it realized, I don't want to do this, and gave himself the permission. He gave himself the choice that he didn't have to do it, no matter what he invested in his education. And now he is in acting. His sister went to med school, thought this is what she's supposed to do. There's just certain constraints and certain beliefs and systems that we're raised with, especially if you're depending on the culture that you're raised in. You know, we are Asian Indian and South Indian, so there's a lot of rules, unspoken rules that are built into our programming from birth. And she went to med school, and then at the end of it, you know, was getting sick from it, um, and decided she didn't want to do it. And now she's doing what she loves. There's other people I mean, there's numerous stories that people who've gone to school, gone to college, invested in so much, and they've become meditation teachers. You have a choice. You have a choice of where you want to take your life. You don't have to be passive, a passive bystander in your life. Reality does not have to control you. You get to control your reality. One of the things that I'm learning to do in this program with Quasi is every day do something uncomfortable. And today posting on here is uncomfortable. As you do something uncomfortable, you break through that older version of yourself. There's so much more that we can delve into on this topic, in the topic around creating your reality. But the one thing that I want you to come away with is you have a choice. Please check out the link in my bio down below. I hold a 12-week coaching program. It's called Paradise Within, where we deep dive into this, where at the end of the 12 weeks, you are actually the master of your mind and you are starting to create your reality. The Google link to apply is below. And right now we are in the process of my first cohort. So we will be starting the next round probably around May. So if you are interested, apply. We can schedule a call and talk more about it. And I look forward to coming on here more and sharing more about my journey and my transformation.